There is going to come a time where there's going to be a paradigm shift, whether it be in a business that you want to start, whether it be in life. Maybe you're going to go from single to married, married to family, or starting a new business to succeeding in a business. There's a paradigm shift. There's a aha moment. And it brings me back to different flashbacks of the journey that I went through. Being a teacher, starting a business, struggling, having this aha moment, this paradigm shift where it was one Facebook ad that changed the course of my life after many years of struggle financially and in business, trying to make an online business work. And so, as many of you know, I am always in the market when it comes to business. I'm constantly looking at new trends, trying to figure out what can I grab in the marketplace that is going to help people succeed in business, and specifically building an agency. And so, because I've taught this for the last, since 2017, over 7,000 people plus and growing, it makes me realize that I should be delivering something of substance, of value. Let's call it a challenge. And because so many gurus out there will run challenges, I get to see what it is that I believe they do right and what it is that I believe they do wrong. And so I'm going to reach out to the community and to the people that watch this, and I'm going to lay out a challenge that I believe is going to help you more than any other challenge out there. And before I jump onto my trusty old iPad, I want to lay a 1-minute foundation. I've surveyed thousands and thousands of people. I've surveyed them and wondering and asking what was the reason you succeeded and what was the reason you quit and what was the hardest thing and the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome or couldn't overcome. And the number one reason people failed is because of overwhelm. Now, I'm going to remove laziness out of that. I'm going to remove life getting in the way out of that. I can't fix that. Nobody can. No coach on the planet, no guru in the world can fix what goes on between somebody's ears. But there are people out there that worked and did more and spent more time trying to make a business work and still fell flat on their face. It brings me to one of our students, Ben, who worked. And for some reason, he would land a client here and there, but did not actually get a grip on building his agency until over 13 or 14 months later. And he ended up building a multi-million dollar business. He's a pastor. I think he's now in Arkansas. I would love to. Actually, I have to do an interview with him. But there was a paradigm shift that he went through, and the paradigm shift was hand-holding. His biggest thing, and this is what we get in our surveys, is that people are being overwhelmed with information. They come into our coaching program, they learn some things, and they're watching things on YouTube, they learn some things, and then they just get convoluted, and it becomes one big mess. And that's why I love challenges, is because it's going to keep you hyper focused. And so I'm going to jump on my iPad, and what I want you to do in the comments down below is tell me if this is something you would want me to do. I'm not going to hold a challenge for my community if nobody wants it. So comment down below and give a thumbs up if you would want me to run a challenge. And believe it or not, I think it's going to be a 5 to 7 day challenge to landing your first client in your agency. And I know unequivocally it's possible because we have the ability, when all the junk is removed, to concentrate and narrow down the actual action items that you actually need to take. And so I'm going to go through what I believe is a great 5 to 7 day challenge that if we do, we will do right. And we will not only do it right, we will have prizes and money and gifts to give away to certain winners. But before I start and go build that, I need to know from you down below, and you can comment after I go through what I believe this 5 to 7 day challenge is going to look like. So let's jump on. Day one is going to be the first step in this is picking what niche you're going to go after. Now, before you say, well, everybody does that, let me explain to you the difference. So we're going to call this niche selection, but we're not going to select a niche based on what's the best niche to go after, because that is the wrong way to do it. We're going to pick a niche, or you're going to pick a niche based on immediate opportunities. And before you go and say, I can't even think of any, there is a process that we will bring you through that will help you recognize the opportunities that are like almost in your nose. Okay. So immediate opportunities and any industries that you already have experience in. And so as I say these things, you may say, well, I never really thought about it like that. I'm always searching on Google to, for somebody to tell me the best niche to go after, when the reality is the best niche to go after is individualized and should be what your immediate opportunity could be within a niche and industries you already have experience with. And that's what we'll walk through on day one. Day two is you need to pick a service, but the service you choose to do for this niche or company or business is going to be dependent on the niche. So are we going to do pay-per-click ads? Are we going to do Facebook ads? Are we going to do review management? Are we going to do reactivation reviews? Are we going to do SEO? What is it that you're going to actually do? Are we going to do message marketing? So depending on the niche that you choose will depend on the services that you want to provide. And what we'll discuss there is how do you know what service to provide based on the niche? Because every niche actually, like I like to call it, a golden service. Day three is the offer. So once you have the niche with immediate opportunities and you have the services depending on the niche, now we have to create the offer. The offer, most of the time, will fall under these. Are we going to offer a trial? Are we going to offer a guarantee? Are we going to offer what I like to call LIA, leads in advance, etc.? And so there's various offers that can be built around depending on the niche, depending on the service, and now you can create the offer. See, when you start to look at things with simplicity and you remove all the garbage out of your mind, by the time you're done in 5 to 7 days, guess what happens? You actually look back and you're like, I'm so clear on what it is that I need to do next, because it's always about being busy in the moment and then confused in the future and not doing anything, and then looking back in the past and realizing all I did was waste time. Day four is going to be all about prospecting. Where do we find these people? Are we going to go out and purchase a list? Are we going to do cold email? Are we going to do cold calling? Should we maybe do cold outreach? Like, what is it that we're going to do? And so this is going to be all about prospecting. And within the prospecting, you're going to learn how to find businesses that already need your help. We're just going to put Google there. You're going to find or learn about very easy prospecting method where it takes a little bit more of time, but it's free. So we're going to call this Computers Reach. And then the other prospecting method is something we call Cars Reach. And so again, let's think about this in simple terms. Niche selection based on immediate opportunities, services based on the niche, offers based on the services. And now where do we go and find these people? Because we already know the who, we already know the what, we already have the offer. And now let's go and present it to people. And where do we find them? And we'll talk about that in day four. Now, day five is a little bit more of the boring stuff, because if you do this right and you do the outreach and you use the prospecting methods and you get somebody to say, sure, like I'll absolutely, I'll give you a shot, or yeah, I'm interested. So day five is, what tools are we going to utilize? What are we going to actually use? Because we need a phone number. We need an email. We need a CRM. We need to have somewhere where what we call two-page sites or texting and all that stuff, funnel. And so we'll talk about the tools, because when we know who to go after, we know what to do for them, we have an offer for them, and we know where to find them, Well, now we need to set ourselves up for success and have a tool. Whatever tool it is that you use, we need to discuss what we use. Obviously, if you've been on this channel, you probably know what I use, but by no means do you have to. As long as you know the setup and the understanding of why you need the tool, then day 5, you'll have everything set up and ready to go. So now we're into day 6. Like, what more could we possibly learn? Now, the number one thing that essentially people get caught up on is they believe they need to learn how to do pay-per-click ads before they offer it as a service. So what day 6 will be is I will have a person from our community and team on standby that if you do land a client, will fulfill for you. So this is going to be a done for you fulfillment. So all we're going to do in day 6 is talk about it, but day 6 and day 7 is what we call a prospecting blitz. So what we're going to have you guys do is on day 6 and day 7, we're going to give you a recommended amount of conversations. So you will have conversation goals, and you can start the conversations even after day 1 if you choose to do so, because ultimately the more offers you make, the more money you will make. All this comes down to is how many offers are you making, and the person who makes the most offers always wins. If you can keep a blind eye to the nose, you will get a yes. It's a numbers game. That's what we are dealing with. And then I'm going to give you a bonus day 8. Plus, we're going to talk about sales and the sales script to use and how to utilize it and the things you need to be saying to people if you have no client results whatsoever. Because there's a certain, like, you can't take a closing script if you have had never any clients. And so there is a right way to speak to people when you're brand new and learning how to be transparent about it. And that's why we'll talk about that in day 4. And so you're not really selling, you're conversing. And so once you go through the prospecting blitz and understand that somebody can fulfill this for you, you'll be given conversational goals and understanding that offers will equate to, or the amount of offers that you make will equate to money. So number of offers equates to money. And then in our bonus day 8, we're going to talk about how to go from prospecting to closing to the biggest superpower that we have, referral. How do we now take somebody that was a prospect to now a client to now asking for a referral? Because that is the flywheel. We prospect, we close, we ask for a referral. We prospect, we close, we ask for a referral. And so this is what I believe is going to be, if we do this, a 8-day challenge. It's going to be a 7 or 8 day challenge, depending on this, with bonuses and the exact walkthrough of everything that you need to do in order to land clients in your agency. Simple, clear, and concise with the exact things you need to do. And I haven't figured out exactly how to create this quote unquote competition between everybody. But the first step of this is comment down below. Tell me that this might be something that you would be interested in. And if it is, and if I get enough comments, I will put it together and we'll be excited to launch it. Thanks for watching. Talk soon. Bye-bye.